Continuing with the introduction, the Chafetz Chaim writes that one of the reasons why people speak Lashon Hara is because they just don't know that they're speaking Lashon Hara. And that's why it's so important for a person to be learning Sefer Chafetz Chaim in order to know the halachos of Shmiras Halashon, how to keep our mouths clean. But there's another way that the Yetzer Hara pushes a person to speak Lashon Hara. He makes a person believe that it's totally impossible, that it's impossible to not speak Lashon Hara. And because of that, we just give up. The Chafetz Chaim says, you should not be fooled by the Yetzer Hara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu would never make us do a mitzvah, try to be Makayim a mitzvah that was impossible to keep. It's obviously very clear that a person can be careful with his Shmiras Halashon, with his not speaking Lashon Hara. A person can do it as long as he's committed to it. Just like every other mitzvah in the Torah, a person needs to be committed to in order to be Makayim it, so too here in Lashon Hara. What makes Lashon Hara so much more difficult than many of the other mitzvahs is that it is consistent. It is something that is we have to be constantly aware of. Because Shabbos only comes out on Shabbos. A person needs to be careful on Shabbos. When a person comes to kashrus, when you go out there and you buy food, you have to look for hechsherim. When you're cooking, you have to be careful to keep things separate, the milk and the meat separately. So certain mitzvahs are easier, they're more ingrained. You put on tzitzis, you don't have to worry, you remember that you're wearing your tzitzis. When it comes to speech, the speech is something that we're doing all the time. How is it so possible for a person to be so careful about it all the time? And really, the only way to do it is to constantly be aware of it. And that's by learning it and reviewing it again. It is so much a part of our lives. Speech is so much a part of our lives that if we become much more rugged in it, it becomes much more natural. We will become much better at keeping our mouths clean and keeping ourselves away from Lashon Hara. Thank you for listening. To hear more shurim like this one, go to jfoundations.com. If you would like to support us or sponsor an episode, go to jfoundations.com/support.